father was always a hard to understand man. Artoon's voice quakes as he stands before the room of mourners. Oh, great funeral scene. On the surface, he was always laughing, but at times his face would suddenly grow dark and solemn, and I wouldn't know what he was thinking. Whenever that happened, I would always get the urge to ask him what was on his mind, but my voice would never come out. I always ended up just staying silent. Why is that, I wonder? He grips the podium with such intensity the wood creaks. He was a man that didn't talk about himself a lot. Even though I'm his son, there's so much I don't know about him. I think that's why he was always laughing, so that when people passed by him, they'd smile and shake their heads, thinking, what a fool. His laughing face was a mask that hid his true self. I think I might have been afraid of what lay behind that mask. Afraid of the weight he carried inside him. I don't remember anything about my mother, you see. She died when I was very young, but whenever we visited her gravestone, it felt like he became a different person. A person chained by regrets of the past. Artoon takes a deep breath. Maybe that's why he threw himself into his work so much. He was the first person to notice something strange about the disappearances surrounding Mignolost. My father believed someone was behind the disappearances, but that someone was killing the people of Socotrine. Even when people doubted his claims, he persisted. It was his duty to protect the people, after all. Eventually it came to light that he was correct, and he formed a team to catch the killer. But that's when Artoon's voice creaks. Tears begin to drip onto the podium before him. Unable to speak any longer, Artoon bites his lips and lowers his head. For a long time he simply stood there, trembling. It was difficult to watch. Artoon. At that moment someone stands. Lord Cecil Cotard, the reigning sovereign of Socotrine, but also a childhood friend of Artoon's. Your father was an honorable man who laid his life on the line for Socotrine. The mist killings and all murders leading up to it. No matter how much of a demon they may be to have slain so many, together we will find the perpetrator and have them answer for their crimes. You have my blade, and my axe, is what his wife should say, and the blades of the lost children. Another person stands. Artoon. I had Belisaria Pharaoh. Oh, Pharaoh, that's right. I gave her Yugi. I gave her this voice. The heiress of the influential old aristocracy House of Pharaoh. She was another childhood friend of Artoon's. Another friend of mine. Know that your father always had your best interests at heart. Even when we were little, he would always scrape the bottom of his wallet to buy materials so you could pursue your passion. You are not alone in your grieving. Many families that have also lost loved ones mourn alongside you. The phantom of Mignolost will not go unpunished. You have the House of Pharaoh's unwavering support. One by one, people rise to their feet, sharing their strength and solidarity with Artoon. Funeral Goer. I thought that was a name, since everybody has ridiculous names in this game. I thought it was like Funeralgor or something like that, but because it's all one word for whatever reason. That fiend won't get away with this. We'll show them no mercy. We will not rest until Cordero has been avenged. The streets are not safe until that killer has been caught. Before long, the entire room was standing. Allies of the Larit family who had all come to mourn the loss of someone dearly beloved to them. Thank you, everyone. Together we will find who did this, and we'll bring them to justice. I see. This feeling of being crushed from all sides. This must have been how Mallory felt on that day as she faced the crowd. Cursed by everyone, forsaken by all. It was like the entire world was against me. But that was only natural, because I'm a monster after all. The sound of falling rain. Though slight, it helps drown out the buzzing. I remember, I had once dreamed of seeing a world full of color. In a way, my wish had indeed come true. A twisted, tainted hue. The red illusion. There was no longer anything that could escape it. Kalia, Triss, Autun, Alouette, not even they were safe. I wanted to carve them open, just like I had with Cordero. A maddening desire to gouge and rend, to kill and gorge. It wells up from deep inside me, causing my hands to tremble. As if I'd allow such a thing. All I need to think about is how to prevent harm from befalling them. If there's something that threatens them, it must be eliminated. Therefore, if I am a threat to them, I simply have to eliminate myself. Having arrived at that conclusion, my feet led me to a certain place, Heaven's Fall, a bridge where the lost and weary yielded their lives to Eveghet. Am? What are you thinking? You followed me? For me to not notice, it was proof of my mind's deterioration. Why? Why? I gazed down at the rapidly flowing water. I didn't want to look at him. You don't have to do this. You don't have to bear everything all alone. Why? Why do you always have to bear the weight all alone? Am, please, lean on me. Let me help. Please promise me something, Anime. Promise me that you'll reach out to someone. Reach out to your family who loves you dearly. I'm lost. Lost in a sea of uncertainty. But maybe, just maybe, I step back from the edge. Anime. Autun rushes forward and wraps me in his embrace. He was shaking. Don't scare me like that. The thought of losing you so soon after losing father. I wouldn't be able to bear it. I have to tell him. Stealing my heart, I pull away from him, but unable to meet his gaze, I stare into the dark water below. Autun. Yes? The words wouldn't come, though. They stick in my throat, a clump of hot and heavy air. What is it, Am? I was terrified. So terrified I couldn't stop shaking. Please, you can tell me anything. I know who the Phantom of Minyalost is. The air around him changes. What? You know who did it? You know who killed Father? It was as if he had become a different person. If you know anything, please tell me. We need every clue we can get. No, Autun, wait. I see. So that's what it was. I was only thinking about myself. Father's death must have affected you so much as well. Oh, what a fool. If only he knew. It's only natural. I'm afraid, too. Anyone would be. The Phantom slew dozens in cold blood, after all. Someone like that isn't human. His words cut into me like a sharp blade. They gouge my insides out and spill them across the cold ground. It's okay if you're not sure about it. Every bit of information helps. The investigation's been cold for so long, after all. Yes, with this, maybe we'll finally be able to find them and make them pay for what they've done. It was the same. His face. His face was the same as theirs. I'll kill them. Kill her! Oh. I'll make sure they burn in hell for what they've done. Burn her! Zzzvich. It was the same face the crowd wore on that day, at that time. Only then will Father be able to rest in peace. Only when that monster is dead. It was too much. I couldn't bear it anymore. I stepped back. I wanted to run away. Wait! Autun grabs my arm. Let go. Please. You know something, don't you? Tell me. Too hard. What? You're holding too hard. Okay, so Amine here has murdered numerous people. So, I think somebody gripping her a little too tightly, I don't really feel bad. But that only causes him to tighten his grip. Hey, that's usually how that works. What's wrong with you? I don't get it. I don't understand. Why won't you tell me? Autun, buddy, I think, the signs are there. It's all kind of obvious. I know you probably don't want to admit it to yourself, but it's all right there for you, brother. He reaches out with his other hand. Burn the witch. Ugh. Kill him. Autun was below me now, his pale, defenseless throat. It was right before me. Tear him apart. My body moves. I watch on as my fingers wrap around his neck. He's the same. As he's probably getting choked, he's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Talk to me." The same as those who murdered Mallory. And all I had to do was lighten, press down and squeeze. It would take nothing at all to wring the life out of him. That's positive. But despite that, Autun doesn't struggle. Without a hint of resistance, he gazes into my eyes. Why? Why aren't you resisting? This is another ridiculous thing. Pretty much every single person our good friend Anime has killed here has always been, like, just totally cool with it. They're all just like, this might as well happen. I want out of this story, too. Because the one that's really hurting isn't me, is it? What an idiot. The one that's truly hurting is you. Reaching out slowly, he brushes my hair to the side. You're crying so much, after all. The clear raindrops drip onto his face from above. The tension in my hands melts away. I rise to my feet. Don't follow. I turn my back on him and take off into the rain. Anime! His voice rings out behind me, but I don't stop. I was a fool. A fool to think I had any allies in this world. Because I'm not human. I'm a monster. Good Lord. Overhead, the rain had begun to intensify. Facing the sky above, I watch on as the falling rain transforms into curtains of writhing scarlet. I wanted to deny that dripping red with all my soul, but the hopelessness binding me swallows up any attempt I make to cry out. It was like trying to scream underwater. The deluge simply rushes down my throat, muffling all attempts to voice myself. It was a struggle to even breathe. Again, a few short hours ago, it was nice and sunny and friendly, and we were playing Capture the Flag, making silly animal noises and sucking up on balloons. Now it's all murdery and red, and this whole business is going on. I shut my eyes as the red illusion slowly consumes everything in sight. I couldn't contain it anymore. My desire to kill. My desire to eat. It was overflowing. So much that the very next person I met, at that moment, an impossible silence descends upon the world. I notice we've gotten a few more viewers. There are some violence gore scenes in this. Like, there's nothing usually visually depicted, but there are some pretty intense, like, descriptions of stuff. So if you're squeamish in any way, this might not be for you. Just want to throw that out there. Welcome, but also be careful. At that moment, an impossible silence descends upon the world. The sound of rain had disappeared. In its place, one sound alone rang out. And instead, another person has showed up. That's great. I love it. Footsteps. Little ones. Like those of a child. Uh-oh. I opened my eyes blankly. A small figure was heading down the path in my direction. Uh-oh. It was someone I recognized. Someone I was very familiar with. Oh, it's Mommy. No. My body begins to move it. Don't worry. Nobody has to worry. Kalia doesn't bite it. She's in the future scenes as well. This is all completely irrelevant. My body begins to move of its own accord. No. Run. Run, Kalia. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. What? What just happened? Cold water was dripping down my face. Sorry, Mommy. I couldn't resist after seeing how drenched you already were. Making use of her rain boots, Kalia vaults over a puddle. When she comes down, water sprays everywhere, including on us. I watch on in a stupor as Kalia dances through the puddles. There was a strange magnetism to the way she completely absorbed herself in the act. It stirs something in me. Huh? My body moves on its own. I plunge into a nearby puddle, sending geysers of water through the airs. Oh, how cute. Good. At least the psycho murderer is having a good time playing in the puddles with her daughter. That she was going to 100% butcher. Ha 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 ha. At first, Kalia seems surprised, but then she laughs and her feet join mine. Together, the two of us dance under the rain, punctuating the air with a symphony of splashing that crashes lyrically against the patter of raindrops, dissonant, yet also harmonious. It was a strange feeling like that. Ha 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 ha. The sound of Kalia's laughter. It drowns out the buzzing in my head. Wipes clear the red lingering at the edge of my vision. It was nonsensical. Foolish, even. But even then, deep in my heart I found myself wishing this moment could last forever. I'm wishing this shit would end, because I've been playing it for like 9 hours. Not all in one day, but still. Phew, I'm soaked. Indeed. The two of us were sopping wet now. We're really dumb, aren't we? Why'd we do that? But though she says that, there was a big grin on her face. Can you make soup when we get home, Mommy? Kalia begins to walk. My feet naturally bring me to her side. It was a well-ingrained habit of mine. Most parents hold on to their children's hand to keep track of them, but since Kalia had no hands to hold, I had always been careful to match her pace as she grew. Soup again? We had soup last night already. But I want to eat soup. 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 Animal crackers in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits loop the loop. Kalia sways and bobs as she walks by my side. She seemed to be in a good mood. She was just a child. But maybe... Oops, I clicked too fast. Kalia. Yes, Mommy? Have you ever thought that I'm... abnormal? A normal question one would ask their child. Different from other people? Kalia tilts her head quizzically. Could it be you're self-conscious about the scar on your tummy? I think you need to grow up, Mommy. That's nothing compared to the burn marks on my face. This little brat. Wah. A little more water won't make any difference anyway. I don't know why I bothered asking this little runt. Again, how one would talk about their child. Wah, Mommy's pouting, haha. I got to see so many new faces from you today, Mommy. Hey, Mommy. What? What now? Thanks. I can't remember the last time we played like this. It was really, really fun. Turning to look up at me, she grins widely. Her smile, so clear and colorful, it hurt to look at. Unable to bear it, I avert my gaze. Mommy? Her voice sounded different. Mommy. She had been so bright and cheerful moments ago, but now she looked like a lost child. What's wrong? You love me, right? Ooh, that's a loaded question. Me and Daddy and Triss. You love us, right? Of course. You know that. Yeah. Kalia laughs. I keep clicking too fast. It's almost like I want to get through this shit. But it wasn't like her usual laughter. It was an anxious, uneasy laugh. I guess I just want to hear you say it sometimes. I don't know. Is that weird? Maybe. Ah, I did it again. It's okay, we're not missing much. Mommy, earlier when we were playing in the puddles, you were smiling and it made me really happy. But it also made me really sad. Because it made me think about the time I last saw you smile. And I couldn't remember. Kalia, her lips trembling faintly, she stops and lowers her head. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. But sometimes I get scared. I get scared that you'll go someplace far away. Big, wet tears. They gather in her eyes and meld with the rain streaming down her face. I wanted to reach out and wipe them away, but I couldn't. Because even now, lingering visions of the red illusion were binding my hands. You won't leave us, right? I was torn. She wanted me to stay by her side, but so long as I drew breath, she wasn't safe. What a conundrum. Mommy, please tell me you won't leave us, right? I couldn't answer. It felt like my chest was being squeezed dry. It felt like the world was collapsing in on me. It was so dark. It was so cold. It At that moment, a light impact strikes my side. I won't let go. Even though she couldn't hold on to me very well, she clings to me. I won't let go. She was so bright. She was so warm. My sweet, dear Kalia. I'm sorry. The world is cruel. The world is wicked. Cruel to have made a monster like me your mother. Dang. Anyway, back to the well that she fell down.